Game Show. This is Rico and Mac with the truth about Chicago sports. Yesterday, we had a wrap up of the Bears 33-6 over the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Impressive debut for Caleb Williams. He is QB1, Rico.
Absolutely. I think he is for sure QB1. I think that the Bears fans absolutely got it right. This guy is the guy. He was just electric. I love the way that he climbed the pocket. You're getting a chance to see how he was able to get outside the pocket and make some completions to DJ Moore. Look at this improvisation right here and just hitting a 40-yard rope on the run. I mean, it was just beautiful watching Caleb Williams
right there. That throw told me everything I needed to know. I mean, off the back foot, on the move, and he's able to put a laser down the sideline where only one person can catch the receiver.
On a 3rd and 13, by the way. So that's your rookie quarterback on a 3rd and 13 going down the field like that. And so that just tells you how much confidence the Bears have in Caleb Williams. And it also shows you how much confidence that Caleb Williams has, because they could have easily went ahead and ran a draw and they let him open it up.
That slide right there, that slide in that highlight too, I thought that was very key. He's able to use his legs. You see, he's got the mobility. The one thing a lot of people I think we're really concerned about when the decision was to move on from Justin Fields was losing the mobility aspect. And Caleb just showed everybody right there that he's got wheels. Maybe he's not the blazing speed of Justin, but he's got wheels. He can make plays with his legs. And it's definitely on the move. This guy's going to quickly become one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I could tell already just from seeing his mechanics and his accuracy while throwing the ball and moving. This guy's going to be very dangerous outside the pocket. And then I also saw in a very key play, first down pass to DJ Moore, that he works well within the pocket. I think, like you say, I think the fans, as Bears fans, we finally have it correct. I think, fingers crossed, health. Please let him have the health. We might have landed on that guy finally. That guy that not only has athleticism at the quarterback position, but also knows how to play the quarterback position.
Yeah, I believe so. And like I said, I just love the way he was just able to create and just really improvise throughout the game. I continue to keep saying that. I mean, because you could tell a lot of this stuff, he's just trying to figure it out. And as the pocket is collapsing, the poise to stay in there and just buy some time to get
eyes staying down the field. Eyes staying down the field, and that's the key. You know, I was listening to Tom Thayer, longtime Bears legend offensive lineman, part of the '85 Bears team, and he said he's one of the play-by-play announcers that does radio for the Bears, and he said that the thing with Justin would read first and then look to run. And he goes, with Caleb has the ability to run, but he's looking for read. Then do I need to run? He goes through his progressions properly. And I think that was the one thing that was on display more than anything is going through the progressions properly. The arm talent. Yeah, we haven't seen that type of arm talent since Jay Cutler. And you know, but the poise, and I don't think Jay was ever that poised in the pocket. And what we saw yesterday, even though preseason, and that's something that, I mean, I think everybody that's been covering the game, talking about the game since it's happened, has had to point that key fact out, that it is preseason. The defense is vanilla. Even the offensive scheme is very vanilla. But you still want to have things to build on, positive things and that's what I saw. Positive things to build on for a young quarterback, you know, looking to take the reins now and is the franchise guy.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely looks like he's the franchise guy. And even listening to his press conference afterwards, when he was asked, like, should the Bears fans be excited? He said, of course, we won the game. So, I mean, I love that confidence. And that's what it's about when you are the leader. I think that he wants all the smoke. And I love that about Caleb Williams. He knows that.
I love that.
He was brought in as the #1 guy for the Chicago Bears. He was the #1 overall. And this is why you see why he's been looked for by the Chicago Bears. And look, this is the first time we've seen game action in 206 days, I want to say, since he's played for USC. So we were really anticipating what he was going to do. We've been seeing it in OTAs. We've been seeing it in training camp. And another play that I want to talk about is what he was able to do to get the ball over to DeAndre Swift. And I think that connection, I know we talked about it a little bit in the green room. I think that DeAndre Swift is going to be an X factor, and he absolutely shows why. Because look, they are going to cover up Keenan Allen. They're going to take away Ronald Agunze at times, and they're going to want to take away DJ Moore. As long as he can extend plays, a guy like DeAndre Swift is going to be valuable because there are not very many linebackers that can run with him. And guess what? Once he gets into the open field, there's not too many people that are going to catch him. Plus, he's going to be running the ball. I think that he's going to be an absolute X factor. I know it's preseason game 2, but I think that this guy is going to be stellar.
No, you are 100% correct. I'm going to tell you right now, a safety's biggest nightmare is a running back with full speed coming at him. You know, like people think, oh no, corners and safeties, sure, they like to tackle, but they most like to tackle wide receivers. All right, they don't really look, they're not looking to try to tackle a running back coming in full speed. And that's the one thing that you have with DeAndre Swift when he's able to catch the ball at the backfield. Now you got another weapon, and like you say, when he's at full speed, most linebackers can't stay with him. And he's got the agility and the playmaking ability to now make safeties miss and cornerbacks miss or run them over. And his addition to the backfield was huge. But also focusing on the backfield, because I think that that's an important aspect. You have to look at how they scored their touchdowns yesterday. They scored on the ground. They did not score. They used the air to move the ball down the field. But once they got within striking distance, that's when they started running the football down Buffalo's throat. And I think that that's going to be a key thing. I know everybody wants Caleb to sling the ball all around the yard, including myself, right? That's an exciting part of football, the big plays to our wide receiver. And we got 3 really great targets out there to choose from. Actually, 4 with Cole Kmet, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah, he dropped one too.
I know.
He dropped a good one. It was right in his breadbasket.
He's in that mix. He's in that mix, of weapons. But when you look at the backfield, and I'll tell you what, that Velus Jones experiment, I'll tell you right now, of course, with the speed, you want him on the edge. And that was a preseason. Obviously, in regular season, if he comes in the game, you're going to have to do some runs up the middle as well, because otherwise defenses are just going to obviously play to the corners whenever they see him at the running back position. But I like the fact that he showed that ability to turn that corner. We saw that athleticism and speed on full display. And that's something that the Bears offense has missed for a long time. Playmakers with speed, game-breaking touchdown speed. Okay, we had that for a little second with the one running back that got hurt, and he actually just retired this season. And I feel like, and I'm drawing a blank. I know it'll come back to me down the line, but he was the last playmaker that I remember that had blazing speed for the Bears, and they've lacked that for a while. And I feel like now you have that with Velus. Now you have that with Rome Odunze. You have that with DeAndre Swift. You have that with Tyler Scott. You got guys that can take it to the house in the open field, and that's what you need. You need the Bears have been devoid of that for some time. So that was really awesome to see that on display coming from the backfield with, like you said, Swift making a huge screen run for 42 yards. Velus Jones able to come in and get the edge and score. And then Ian Willer, they've even heard of you. But, man, I'll tell you what.
Too.
Right, he made it exciting, didn't he? I'll tell you what, if he doesn't make the Bears team, he's definitely put himself for a practice squad or a job on somebody else's team. That's for darn sure, because he was impressive out there.
Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely impressive. You talked about it, 5 carries, 43 yards, but 8.6 average and 2 touchdowns, right? And so when you're in preseason, that's what it's about. You need to be able to get the ball inside those tackles and run tough and finish runs. I think that was what was really the standout for me. He finished a lot of runs, and that's what you want in an NFL running back.
Yes. Yes, it was impressive. Impressive indeed. I'm not going to just stay on the offensive side of the football, though. I'm going to switch it to the defensive side as well, because I'll tell you, after the first week where I saw the defense look, a little shaky against David Mills, I felt like he kind of strutted him up. This talk about a turn of events this time around. And Austin Booker, wow. I heard noise when he was picked, and everybody said he fell to the Bears. And I remember the Bears were very excited on draft day when they drafted him. And I was leery because I'm like, well, you waited to the 5th round. You picked a punter before the guy, So I was a little leery about that. I'm like, how much upside is there really to that if you picked a punter before him? But wow. And they said if he would have stayed in one more year, this kid probably could have had worked himself into the 2nd, maybe even late 1st round. And I saw that on full display yesterday. Able to come off the edge, finish. And that's what it's about, finishing those sacks. That was key. And then a shout out to Daniel Hardy, who I didn't even know he was on the team, Rico. Okay, but
it's like that in preseason, though.
He made us know. He made us know he's on the team, though, didn't he? Wow. He was able to make big plays also. 2.5 sacks as well. 3 QB hits. Very impressive. Zach Pickens as well. And this is what we were talking about. If we go back a couple weeks when we were actually live in studio, about the trenches, the Bears needing to win the trenches on both sides of the football. And I was very impressed with the defensive line out there making big plays, making it easy for other guys to step up and make plays. You mentioned in the green room, Tremaine Edmonds. I expect him to have I want him to have a Pro Bowl season this year. I felt like he had a good season last year, but I believe he's a Pro Bowl caliber player. And so I want to see that from him this year.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the fact that he went back home, right, to the against the Buffalo Bills, and he was out there causing a little bit of havoc to his offense, his former offense, the Bills over there, because I think he came over from the Buffalo Bills, if I'm not mistaken. But I love the way that he was flying around the football. I love the way that the Bears have gone out and constructed this defense, because I feel like they do need some more experience up there. And I like the fact that defensively, I didn't feel like they called a lot of blitzes. I think that those were natural collapses of the pocket. And what I mean by that is they were generating pressure and they weren't having to call blitzes. And that's always a great thing, because that means that when you do call for the hounds to come out and attack, then that means that you're going to get there, right? Because you're going to send more than what the offense can block. So that's a great sign in the preseason that we are getting home and we're not having to be aggressive on the defensive end. I love that. And that's always going to be something that I think your back half or your secondary is going to love, because they know they just have to cover just for a little bit of time, and you're going to help them make some plays up there. So I definitely was impressed with the defense. And going back to last segment, you were talking about Tariq Cohen, the running back.
Tariq Cohen, yes.
I wanted to go back to that last segment. I was thinking of his face and I saw him, but I wanted to put that out there. But
that's right.
To shift gears, you're absolutely right with the defense, man. Super impressive. I'm glad you brought that up too.
Yeah, no, it's what I expect. And it's also kind of explains a lot too, because there's been chatter about practice for the Bears and how it's kind of gone for Caleb, and I've heard mixed bag offenses looked some days decent, some days not, but we have to remember they're going against a very elite defense. And that's what we're starting to see. When your backups are making plays like that, that tells me that your starters are nasty. Okay. Like that tells me your starters are nasty if your backups are making plays like that.
Yeah.
And so two key areas that I've been concerned about going into this season, because this defense is basically a 4-3 predicated defense. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they play a lot of nickel, so you're going to see a third corner out there a lot, but it's basically predicated on the fact of having a 3 technique nose tackle disruptor, along with another defensive tackle alongside him that can come in and slice and make plays. And
Mhm.
then your edges being able to get home to the quarterback. It's really about generating that much needed pressure up front with just your front 4.
Mhm.
And with Zach Pickens, Dexter Jr., those 2 right there alone, if they can really solidify themselves and with the youth, they're young and can come out there and cause havoc. I love the fact that if you got a guy like an Austin Booker opposite Montez Sweat now.
Mhm.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
and don't forget about too Khalid Kareem as well, coming out of Notre
Mm.
Dame. He was a guy that's talked about that could possibly battle and get some of those defensive end snaps as well. He had a really good game yesterday with the 4 tackles, the 1 sack, but I think he did a ton of great things with quarterback hits and getting deflections on the quarterback. So,
Yep.
just to throw him out there, he was mentioned, I
Yep.
think, in an article or piece that I've been looking at that he's trying to get some defensive snaps and really find his way. And I think that there is a lot of opportunity beside Montez Sweat on the other side of the
Yeah.
football.
Well,
So,
and that's the thing, is that a real true elite defensive line is able to rotate guys in that can still make plays. And
yeah.
so when you've got a Javon Dexter Sr. and you've got a Pickens out there, now you're able to come behind and bring a guy, Andrew Billings, who, if you remember, was a free agent signing, and he's a good veteran, a good grizzled veteran, big
Mhm.
guy that could come in and be a stopgap player for you. So, when you can rotate a guy like that in, and then you could turn around and you can rotate in a Demarcus Robinson, and you can rotate in a Demarcus Walker. These are guys that now could come in fresh for you, make key plays, but you still got a great set base. And I'm really pulling. I really feel like, I know he's young, and I know, like I said, it was preseason, but I do envision Austin Booker being able to be that other defensive end opposite Sweat.
Mhm.
And now you're talking about a real nasty defensive line there, man.
And I think that that's one of the most important position battles really in the Bears camp, especially when you're talking about, let's be honest. I mean, as much excitement that we have around Caleb Williams, the defense is the better unit. Okay. I know the people listening to us are probably like, no, there's no way. No,
No,
the
yes,
defense is
yes,
really a good unit.
yes,
And Caleb Williams, if you've been looking at some of the stories, or even if you've been in camp, they've been winning against Caleb Williams. And you see how good
oh
Caleb Williams
yes,
potentially could be. I mean, there's days where the offense is not getting to the end zone. Okay. And it's
yeah,
not their fault. It's just that it's elite defense. But those are some key questions that the Bears defense is going to really have to answer. Who is
mhm,
going to step in beside the players that we already know? Because
yep,
Montez Sweat, he did very well with the Commanders. He obviously came over to the Bears in that second half and was able to show
yep,
exactly why he was drafted. And a lot of people talk about the fact that he's elite, but you just have to
mhm.
add pieces around him. So I love this competition. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I think they have about another game or 2 left, because we did talk about the fact that
Two
the
two more
Bears will have
preseason, two more
an extra
preseason
preseason
games.
game because of that
Yeah,
holiday
2 more
game.
preseason. And let's be honest, the next game is going to be the real tone setter. That last
Oh,
preseason game will be just backups.
eh,
So the next preseason game will really be the where we're kind of gonna get a look at what the more of the 53-man roster is gonna be. Um, and I'm excited for that. But like I said, I'm just, the thing about it is that, wow, I I gotta just give a shouts out to Ryan Poles, man. I mean, where we were at 2 years ago, even
yeah,
last year, to where we're at now, where,
talk
like
about
you said, we're literally sitting here saying the defense is better than the offense, and that's a good thing. Like, we usually, that was like a put down,
it.
like when
Yeah,
we were like, oh, the defense is better. But no, the defense is just that elite. But guess what? The offense is darn good too. And when's the last time we've had that compliment on both sides of the football? And I'm telling you, this is something brewing in Chicago, and you feel it. You see it in the team. You see how they're blocking, how they're playing for one another. They believe they got something cooking. And, you know, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, and can I just put 2 points out there? First, with the defense, Josh Allen looked like he was really struggling. Look, I know it's the first game, but that offense looked really bad against the Bears defense. And we know that the Bears defense is good, and I have my question marks about the Bills and that wide receiving crew, but they made Josh Allen they made it very challenging for him. That's number one, the takeaway that I wanted to say about that. And just number two, man, just the fact that I'm thinking about it like this. When Caleb Williams was in, he was able to manufacture field goals, right? If you think about it like this, if we were to score, 6 points every quarter, that's 24 points right there. Okay. You know that they're going to score touchdowns. That's the thing. So just think about that. If we're able to move the ball and always be in position to score, and you think about the fact that the defense is going to generate turnovers, like the Bears are.
I forgot about the pick six. Yeah. We forgot about the pick six. Oh my goodness. Michael Bakersfield.
Yeah, the Bears are going to generate turnovers. We already know. So offensively, if you're always going to be really driving the ball down and getting some scoring opportunities, if you get 24 points a game, I think I was looking at something the other day. The Giants gave up, I think, 26 points a game last year, and they were ranked 27th in the league. So that lets you know that if you can generate that amount of points, anywhere from 24 plus, that's a totally different football team, right? Because you're able to generate points, you're going to be in some good situations.
You're putting yourself in a situation to win games. The Bears defense last year, once Montez Sweat was traded to the Bears, once Eberflus took over calling for the defense, the Bears pretty much all offenses against the Bears couldn't generate more than 20 points.
Yeah.
Like it was hard for them to generate 3 touchdowns. I mean, the best you were getting was 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Maybe 2 field goals, 2 touchdowns, best you're getting against that defense. So yes, if the Bears are able to generate between the 20 and 30 point range, they're going to win majority of their games. If this defense stays healthy, I wholeheartedly see the Bears finishing above 500 for the season. I'm not going to put a number on it. I know a lot of people are, really want to jump out there, 10 wins, 11 wins, stuff like that. I mean, it's still too early. It's still too early to put a number on it. But I will say this: they will finish above 500 if they average between 20 to 30 points a game with this elite defense.
Yeah, I think just to put it out there, I guess as a number that to be safe with, I have them right now at about 8 or 9 wins, right? I think they're going to take that leap already. That's not counting for the wins that they're going to get due to the fact that there's going to be some injuries that are going to happen. There's going to be some key moments in games where probably Caleb Williams or somebody makes a huge play on the offensive end, or the defense just gets that fumble, or they generate a turnover. Those are points that we're not accounting for. And so I think that, and I told you via text, I think, like, I'm not sure what the season outlook is going to look like for the Bears. But one thing that we are probably in agreement on is that the Chicago Bears have that guy at QB1. And if you have that guy at QB1, that is huge for any particular franchise. Look at what the Texans were able to do last year with C.J. Stroud and his play. That's what you need. You need that field general to do that for you on the offensive end, and your defense can come along.
Yes, this is once again Rico and Mac with the truth about Chicago sports. We representing online YouTube stream. This is for WRM 1410 AM, Elgin, Illinois. Every game, every post game, me and Rico will be doing a recap. We'll be breaking down key stats, have the highlights up. Rico is the man who sets that up for us. Great job as always. Another beautiful setup for us. And yeah, this is something that, like I said, I absolutely love doing. We might even try to get us a guest or two to join us along the season, but this is gonna happen every week, fans. So please stay tuned, check us out. This will be available on the WRMN YouTube page. We will also have this available on Spotify, the Truth About Chicago Sports Spotify as well. So you can go and check out both places and be able to stream and listen to the breakdown of after every Chicago Bears football game, preseason and regular season. Rico, once again, my brother, always love having you on, man. Sorry we couldn't be in the studio 14 this week. Parades. Sometimes you got to do that for the community, right? But hey, we still get to have our moment.
Yeah, man. Hey, I totally understand that, man. And for the folks out there, we appreciate you. Make sure you give us a 10-star review out there, just like my man Marcus Mack just said. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify. You can find me on Real Talk Sports with Rico, and also to Bulls Digest on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
We will be here talking more Chicago Bears sports, as my man Marcus Mack is talking about, man, the truth about Chicago sports.
Everybody, Thank you for joining us. Have another great week.
Keep it locked in. Peace.